Hello ladies, hello gents, thank you for being here today. My name is Merrier, and on today's video we are going to be talking about how to level up in your 20s and beyond. If this is something that you're interested in, definitely keep on watching.
You're like a circle that floats around me, keeping me safe and sound. And when I fall, you tied a rope to me. You're blessing me every day. I was down with an illusion, like a sparrow with broken wings.
Welcome back. So we're gonna dive right in, okay? So the first thing that you need to do to level up in your 20s is to skip the whole phase. Yes, HOE. Some others are gonna call it the player phase. People, the way we've been wired, right? It makes people to understand that, okay, in order to have a successful marriage, like in order to be in a relationship and stick to one person, you must have played in your younger years. That is not true. I understand that you want to date, and I'm not saying that don't date in your 20s. Yes, that is a time when you have to date. You have to ask all your questions, ask all the interview questions that you're asking on these days to be able to find the one person that you can make a life with, to find the one person that you can be with. But don't sleep with these people, because when you get into relationships and start sleeping with people, then you are clouding your judgment. That way you're not able to tell who is who, because you have involved your bodies together. Skipping the whole phase, it's very important for you in your 20s, because you're going to avoid heartbreaks, you will avoid a lot of unnecessary pain, and you will avoid soul ties. Soul ties is even the worst among all the things that you can get during your 20s when you're sleeping around. So you have to cancel that part. It is not necessary. Don't let anyone fool you into believing that you need to sleep with all these people in order to become a better wife, or a better husband, or a better somebody in the future. No, totally skip that. The next point to level up in your 20s is to read books. Most of us today, if someone puts our fortune in a book, we will never see it, because we do not read. Reading books is going to help you a lot. You have to read books, you have to listen to educational podcasts, you have to listen to educational YouTube videos. That way you're going to learn a lot, because trust me, knowledge is power. Knowledge is power. And applied knowledge is even better, because that creates a fortune for you. People say that that word is cliche, it is overused. That is because it is true. It is power, because if you're reading books, if you're listening to educational podcasts, if you're watching YouTube videos, then you're going to be able to learn the things that you do not know. And when you learn things that you do not know, that way you can apply them to your life and have a fulfilling and a better life. This brings me to the third point. To be able to level up in your 20s, try to travel at least once a year. There are some people that they have never even left their cities, let alone left their country. And you'll be asking me like, oh, she's saying that because she can. I'm not saying it because I can. I'm saying it because you can. And you tell me you cannot afford it. Yes, you can afford it. Never say that you cannot afford it. Ask yourself, how can I afford this thing? Because if you're working, you don't even have to be saying that you cannot afford it, because when you're working and you're spending less than you earn, then you're able to save for the things that are important to you. You're able to save for the things that you can do with your life, because you cannot say that you have attained a certain level of your mindset or a certain mentality if you have not met people that are out of your religion, if you've not met people of different race, people of different countries, people of different religions, different cultures. If you've met people of different cultures, then you can be able to know things that you don't know, because if you stay just within your jurisdiction, you just stay within your city, you're limited in your knowledge, you're limited in your mindset. So you need to go out there so that you can experience different people, you can experience different levels, different social levels. That way you can be able to apply it in your own life and then become a better person. Don't say you cannot afford it. You can at least afford to go to the next city that is beside your city. That way you can see other people, you can see other things, you can know different things. And another way to level up in your 20s is to make sure that you learn a new skill. it is very important for you to learn a new skill, because when you learn a new skill, you can monetize it, right? And when you monetize that new skill, that is another set of income that is coming into you, which is not really from your mainstream of income. When you learn a new skill, you can do many things with it, because nowadays the world is very fast paced. You need to be able to do different things. You need to be able to do things that are beyond what you ever imagined that you would do. And your 20s are the best time of your life to learn that new skill, because it will take you far beyond that 20s. The next way to level up in your 20s is to become an asset. Gone are the days where you see people will just groom their ladies, groom their babies, groom their girls, just so that they can grow up and get married to a rich man and they are settled for life. Long gone are those days. Men nowadays, they don't want to stick with women that are not industrious. They don't want to be with women that their mindsets are too shallow. They don't want to be with women that know nothing. So likewise, women, they don't want to be with a man that they cannot submit to. They don't want to be with a man that they cannot look up to. They don't want to be with a man that they cannot call their own in public, So you have to know this. You have to become an asset. Learn how to cook, learn how to drive, learn how to code, learn anything that is going to add up on what you already have. It is very important, because being a liability is not the best way to go in life. You really need to be an asset. And you will ask me the difference between an asset and a liability. It is going to take me to my next point, because the next point is to learn the difference between an asset and a liability. An asset is something that you pay once and it keeps on giving you money over and over and over again. It could be weekly, it could be monthly, it could be daily. While a liability is something that you pay for and you still need to pay to maintain it. So you have to know the difference. You have to know the difference, and you have to know how to apply it to your life. You have to be independent, because you will need the skills when you're single and you will need them when you're married. So it is very crucial for you to become an asset. Why I say become is because it is a process. It is not something that you just wake up one day and become. It is a process. It's something that you learn day in, day out, until you feel like, okay, this is who I am and this is what I have to offer to the world. The next point on how to level up in your 20s is to find your purpose. You have to pray to God to help you, to show you why you're here on earth, because your purpose is why you were created and why you're here on earth. Are you here to just fill up space? For most people, their purpose lies within their passion. The thing that keeps them awake at night, the thing that they really want to do, the things that they can do without even getting paid and they still find fulfillment in doing. That's how most people take to find what their purpose is. In your passion, you don't have to be scared to throw your darts. Like, just throw them, because you have to take those risks. You have to really find what is coming from within. You really have to find what makes you happy. What are the kind of things that you like to do? What are the things that you do? That way you can be able to know your purpose. And don't let anybody fool you. It must not necessarily be one thing. It could be many things that are under one umbrella. Because in my younger years, I used to feel like, it has to only be one thing. It has to be one thing that is your purpose. No, it could be different things that are under one umbrella. Some people, they like to speak, for example. And when you're speaking, you need to learn how to talk. You need to learn how to do videos. You need to learn how to edit pictures. There are many things. Some people, for example, they like to cook. That is their purpose, is cooking. When it is cooking, you have to know how to cook. You have to know how to pick up the things from the store, and you get the drift, right? So it doesn't necessarily need to be one thing. It could be several things that are under one umbrella. That brings me to the next point. In order for you to level up in your 20s, you need to create a routine, because routines, they form habits. If you're able to create a solid routine in your younger years, that is going to set you up for success, because those routines are going to create consistency. Consistency will then create trust. And if you trust in the things that you're doing, then you're able to wake up every day knowing that what you're doing is something that will go will last long. It is something that will take you down to your 30s, to your 40s, to your 50s and beyond. So you have to really create these routines, because you don't just want to sit and live your life to chance and get up every day and don't know what to do and just do anything. You have to set those routines, and routines are like goals, because when you start doing routines, you'll be able to set your goals in such a way that you can meet them. When I mean goals, I say goals that are realistic. That way you can meet them, because you don't just want to wake up one day and you're 20 years down the line and you've done nothing with your life because you did not set these routines, and because you did not do things intentionally, you did not do things with clarity. Because when you're doing all these things, then you live your life to change and you just entertain things that you really don't necessarily need to be entertaining. And when you're entertaining some of those things, they make you less fulfilled and they make you sometimes really angry, and you don't know where your frustration is coming from, because you have not put these routines in place. The next point on how to level up in your 20s is to practice delayed gratification. What I mean by that is, not everything that you see online that you have to buy, not everything that is trendy that you have to buy, not every Gucci, Versace, not every brand name that is out there you have to own. Because when you're following the trend, you tend to be like the Joneses. Don't try to keep up with the Joneses, because many people nowadays, they only flash their lives on social media, and you're looking at it and you want to be like this person, not knowing how they are doing to get the money that they are buying this stuff with. So do not waste your money, because you have to try to save some of what you get. Because when you save your money, you're able to do many things with it. You remember when I talked about investing, I talked about the difference between the liability and asset. You can use that money to buy assets rather than buying things that are liabilities to you. When you delay gratification, by the time you remove your money to buy something, you really enjoy it because it is something that you want. It is not something that you're buying because you're seeing A or B having it. It is something that you're buying because you can afford it and because it is what you want. You don't just go around spending money on things that you don't need or things that will not bring you any form of satisfaction. I'm telling you this from experience, because I used to be the person that would shop and shop till I drop. But I had to learn how to practice delayed gratification, and it's doing me a whole lot of good, because I am able to put my money where my mouth is. I'm able to put my money where it is going to yield me more money. And if I do not have where that I can put it, I find ways to be able to make the money work for me. So you have to really not waste your money. You have to, and if you're somebody that does not waste money, then you're able to take those trips that are going to open up your mind. You're able to do the things that you can do that are even better for you, rather than keeping up with people that you don't know how or where they are getting their money from. This brings me to the next point. If you are in the Western world, you know what I'm about to say. Do not spoil your credit. Don't mess up with your credit, people. Because if you're living in the Western world, your credit is something that you need. It is a necessity. They value it more than cash. If you do not have good credit, you cannot even get a cell phone, you cannot get a car, you cannot get a house. So yes, the store credits are really very attractive, because you know that with the store credit, you can just swipe the card and get what you want to get and then pay later. But trust me, there'll come a time where you swipe that card and you're not able to pay back. And when you're not able to pay back, that is how you start ruining your credit. So you really have to work on your credit. You have to make sure that you have a good standing with your credit. That way you are found credible to be able to get the stuff that you want to get down the line. Because say for example, you get married and you have bad credit. You're stuck somewhere in a very tiny house where, not because you cannot afford a bigger place, but because your credit does not let you afford it. Or maybe you can even get it, but you get it at a higher interest rate because they don't trust you with managing your credit. So that is something that you really have to work on, and try not to ruin that in your 20s. The next point on how to level up in your 20s is to be yourself. I cannot overemphasize this. Many people are trying to be like the other person. They're forgetting about their self and they're trying to be like somebody else. The best thing that you can do for yourself is to invest in yourself and to become a better version of who you were yesterday. That is how you combat competition. Because when you are focused on yourself and trying to invest in yourself and building up yourself, you will be a better person. You will succeed in life because whatever thing that you're putting out there is coming from here. You have one head, you have one mind, you have one soul, you have one body. You have to take care of that body. You have to take care of that mind and forget about what the other person is doing, because what the other person is doing may be what they want to do, but now you're trying to be like this person. That is total waste of life. You can't waste your own life trying to copy somebody else. So yeah, be yourself. It is so important for you to be yourself. This takes me to the next point. Don't be scared to ask, because most people, they don't ask, and the Bible tells us you have not because you ask not. Don't be scared of the no's, because you have to go through all these no's to be able to get a yes, and that one yes is all you need to be able to take you from point A to point Z. So don't be scared to ask, because when you're bold enough to go out there and get it, the violent, get it by force. You have to be violent. When I mean violent, I don't mean like being like, you have to be pushy, you have to be bold, you have to ask what you need. And when you ask, you will always get it. Doesn't matter how long it takes, but there'll be one day that you will get what you're asking for. So yes, don't be scared, be bold, take life by force, and take it one day at a time. Another way to level up in your 20s is to do something that scares you the most. So I'll tell you a little story. On the day of my engagement, right? My husband, then my boyfriend, he took me to King's Dominion. There's a place where you have all these roller coasters. Some of them will take you up and down. And there was this one that took us right up into the sky and just dropped us like it was hot. And I was so scared. I was like, what is going on here? I can't believe I'm the one who just did this. So we went to another ride where, as it was turning, I was wearing a wig and I didn't glue the wig down. So as it was turning us in the air, my wig came off and this little boy just grabbed the wig from behind, leaving my head was bald, leaving it all out. That was so funny. And it just brought me a sense of peace. It just brought me a sense of happiness. And I was like, these are the things that I said I will never do, but this is me doing them. And it frees you, As this boy cut my wig from behind, he was like, man, is this yours? Man, you were in the air when he was saying that, and he held on to it until we landed. And when we landed, he gave me my wig and I just wore it like nothing happened. It was so funny, but yet so profound, because it freed me. It made me to understand that we are the ones limiting ourselves. We are the ones who are scared of things, and we are the ones that are holding ourselves back. So we have to always do things that scare us, at least in our 20s. I still do things that scare me right now, but because I have kids, I don't go that dangerous. I don't want to die and leave my kids. So yeah, do things that scare you the most in your 20s. It is going to release you from everything that you have. And above all, give your life to Christ. It is so important for you to give your life to Christ in your 20s, because in your 20s, you are beginning a life. In your 20s, don't say you're going to wait until you're 50, until you're 30, until you're what age, because the way our world is going today, younger people are dying every day, and you don't want to die without saving your own self. You don't want to die with your salvation in the ruins, because God is the one that created us, and He knows what is best for us. He's even saving us from our own selves, because there are some things that we do that are harmful to ourselves, but when we are in Christ, we are guided. We have the spirit of discernment that is going to help us to navigate our life. There is a reason why you need to give your life to Christ. There's a reason why Christ came for us, so this is something that I implore all of us to be able to take into consideration. Do not wait, because you never can tell. Tomorrow is not promised for nobody. You might be very healthy right now, and the next minute you drop dead without even knowing where you're going to. So please, 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 guys, let us all find God and live peacefully. Thank you for watching to this video. Please like, share, and do not forget to subscribe. Hit that notification bell so that you do not miss any videos that I upload. Have a fab one, guys, and have a best one. Mwah, mwah, mwah. Love you all.